Good evening. Sorry that I can't be with you in person, but I am thrilled to at least be able to participate remotely with the miracle of technology. Happy birthday, Russ. God bless you, celebrating your life and your ministry and just the man that you are. You've touched a lot of lives. Uh, First, I just want to talk a little bit about the Russ McClanahan that I know. By the way, everybody, I'm Don. Wolfman, Wolf Daddy, the Don, Don Jones, Father Don. Good to see everybody. The Russ McClanahan that I know is first and foremost a scholar. Russ, as you know, is a man of letters. He is an accomplished author. He's a man who has earned several degrees. He's got his doctorate, and Russ is also a published author. And so Russ is a prolific writer. He writes treatises. He writes commentaries on the events of the day. He writes words of encouragement. Russ is quite the proficient writer. Just don't try to get him to write you a check. The other Russ that I know is, of course, Russ the father. A big part of Russ's identity is his family, and especially his children and his grandchildren. Russ is a protective and doting father. But what you may not know about Russ is Russ is also quite the protector of his spiritual children, as well as his children and grandchildren. Russ is kind of a godfather figure. In fact, he protects his family. He does everything he can to provide for people. He gives them wisdom. He provides safe havens for them. And if you mess with his children, his grandchildren, or his spiritual children, he'll make you an offer that you can't refuse. In addition to Russ the father and Russ the Godfather, of course, we also know that a big part of Russ's identity and Russ's life has been Russ the clergyman. Russ as a pastor and as a bishop and as an archbishop. I remember Russ mentoring me whenever I was transitioning from being a pastor to being a priest, and just how gentle he was, how Christ-like he is, how he really modeled for me not just how to be a preacher, but to be a man of God. And I so appreciate that about Russ, and one of the most spirit-filled, godly, and Christ-like ministers of the gospel I've ever known. Russ is authentic, and I appreciate that about him more than I can put into words. Russ is my father confessor, and God blessed me with him. So thank you, Russ, for being fruitful and for being faithful to that. Now, you know Russ as a father. You may know Russ as a godfather. Everybody knows Russ as the clergyman, but not many people know that Russ is also quite the warrior. Now, Russ didn't serve with the U.S. Armed Forces, but he did serve as the ecclesiastical endorsing agent for the U.S. military with the Evangelical Episcopal Church. And Russ is very comfortable dealing with military people, but also in his own right, Russ is a military person because Russ has been knighted. That's right. Russ can actually put the words Militus Christi after his name and after all of his titles because Russ is a knight of the church. And recently I talked to Russ about maybe getting knighted a second time, and he said, well, you know, Don, once a bishop, always a bishop, but once a knight is enough. Finally, I want to talk to you about Russ, my friend. I've never had a truer friend. I've never had a person that I felt like I could be absolutely broken, absolutely transparent, and one who would still love me, do what he can to restore me, never endorse bad behavior, but would endorse me, the person, and would restore me to the path of life. And I appreciate the man and the friend that Russ is. Russ, I appreciate you more than you know. Russ knows where all the bodies are buried, just like the Godfather. And yet, he's always there, he's always consistent, he's always gentle, and he's always real. So, for Russ the man, Russ the scholar, Russ the father, Russ the godfather, Russ the clergyman, Russ the warrior, and Russ the friend, happy birthday. One thing you guys may not know about Russ that maybe I'm the only one who does, is Russ will do anything for anyone. And when Russ feels called to a purpose, he is just doggedly determined to see it through. Russ and I started a parish together, and money was running low, funds were running low, and so Russ decided that in order to raise money, he would dig up that hidden talent that he has, and we would go on the road together as minstrels. And so I'll close this video with a little bit of what Russ taught me whenever we went on the road as singers, because what you may not know is that Russ has mad skills, dog. Know what I'm saying? Mad skills. So I thought I could sing before. Russ gave me a few pointers. For your listening pleasure, Russ's version, as taught to the Don. Feelings, nothing more than feelings, trying to forget my feelings of love. Feelings, nothing more than feelings, tears rolling down my face. Russ, happy birthday. God bless you. Thank you for the man you are. Thank you guys for letting me participate. Bye-bye.